Are you tired of being alone? Are you tired of worrying about maybe spending the rest of your life alone? Or maybe you're in a dating dry spell? Or maybe you keep trying the same thing and getting the same result. Well, if you any of those things line up with you, you're in the right place because I want to help you get into a relationship within the year. I'm Jaki Sabrin. I'm the CEO of the Engaged at Any Age program, and I'm wanting to talk to and introduce you to an amazing, highly successful business coach, Heather Picken, who are going to talk to you about overcoming your fears in relationships and in dating and what's sabotaging you so you can get engaged at any age. Heather, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie.
Yeah. So I wanted to just talk to you about how you help your clients walk through the fear of that commitment piece. And also, I know that you're in an incredible soulmate relationship. So I know that coming from someone like you, you've actually been through all of these fears. You've been through your own dating
Yes.
dilemmas. And I think it'd be really relevant if you shared some of your stories and some of the strategies that you use to help women walk through their fear in business. Because I think it's all connected, right? Money is just
Yes.
love made manifest. That's what money is, the money energy. But a lot of things that I hear from women is, they don't want to make time. They don't want to invest in themselves. They don't really see what's really holding them back from investing them in themselves is fear. And it's what it's anchored to is something much different than what they think. And so let's dive in with that. And where do you want to start? I mean, this topic is so big. It's what holds women back in life
Yeah,
and love.
absolutely. I do want to talk about the fear yeah, absolutely. I do want to highlight that on what, like if you need to do something, you can't get it out of your own way. Like if you've been single for a long time, you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to get married. I really want to commit a relationship, or maybe you're retired and you're not taking action. One of the things that happens is that there are unconscious motives that hold you back because there's actually a benefit of you not investing. So yeah, you save the money and you don't have to deal with your issues. So I was in this place. I had been, successful in my business, but, unlucky in love. And I'm thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? Until I went into, some of my fears, feeling unworthy. I was not confident because of my dating history. I let that, be a holding pattern for me. And what changed is I showed up in my power saying, you know what, I am no longer going to settle for someone. I am going to be who I am, because when you could truly be yourself and be authentic in a relationship, that's where you have a fulfilling relationship. And the problem that I find, with myself and other women is that they're so afraid to say what they want, yet they get into these relationships that are a mismatch and then it doesn't work out. So to me, it's just like, I encourage the women, if you can't see your blind spots, you have to invest in yourself. And don't look at your past dating history, whether you've been divorced or whatever, as something bad that has happened to you. What you have to do is change your perception and look at all of those experiences have made you who you are, that amazing woman. And if you can do that, if you can do it from that point and really see that you're worthy and valuable, you're going to attract that perfect soulmate relationship, whether you want to be engaged or in a committed relationship. And so when I'm working with business clients, I talk about creating success, and it's the ability to increase your failure rate that will make you more successful. And it's the same thing with dating, Jackie. It's like, you've got to learn how to quote unquote fail your way into the dating scene so that you can have your ideal man or your ideal soulmate relationship. And there's no such thing as failure. It's all about perception.
I love it. I love this. So, what was really standing out for me was that what happens with women is we have these unconscious beliefs that we're not worthy or we're not lovable, whatever, but we don't really see that as a key to solving the problem. And then again, like you said, we continue to date, make more dating mistakes, and that lowers our self-esteem, which is a perception. And so how do you hold the perception of yourself in a high regard when you've been single for a couple of decades, maybe when your husband passed away and you haven't dated in 50 years, maybe you've been single for, a month or two because you broke up with your boyfriend. So your self-esteem is a perception that can change with your actions. So the longer you go without addressing why you're single and you don't take action, the worse you feel about yourself. And it's like this, and then you attract men from that place, from this fear-based thinking of I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. And then you attract those emotionally unavailable men, because here's the thing. women are emotionally unavailable. And I teach a lot about this in my program. It's so important. We think that men are not emotionally available, but the truth is that if you are with a man who's not emotionally available, then you're enabling that emotional unavailability. So you're not available either. And that, it's so interesting how women say, oh, I was married to an emotionally unavailable man for 20 years. And I'm like, well, what were you doing the whole time? Why didn't you address that? And so then they go and attract something very similar. So
Yes.
until we get to the core reasons why we do what we do, we really don't have any, we can't change and stay that way consistently over time. That's why you need the structure and accountability of a mentor, because the mentor is going to keep you focused on what your objective is over time so that you can get to the other side. Without that, because when you're on your own, I mean, you don't have any willpower. You're just sitting there by yourself. You have no community, no guidance. You're just guessing what to do, and guess what you're gonna guess to do what you've already
Yes.
done. And there's no evolution in that. You're gonna fall back on your own patterns and your own thoughts because you're in the knowns, the things you've already experienced. You've got to get into the unknown, and it's very hard to get into the unknown. And you walk women through business. It is so hard to stretch out of your comfort zone. They call it a comfort zone for a reason because it's comfortable.
It's true. And I love the quote, life happens outside of your comfort zone. So if you want a relationship, you must get out of the, the uncomfortable zone or the comfort zone, because if you're not taking action, and here's what I see women do, like, and I'm going to relate this to business and relation, trying to get in a relationship, they go online, they try to watch all these videos thinking, okay, I'm going to fix myself, or I'm going to try to really get a handle on it. But the problem with that is, maybe those people aren't trained. They're just watching, they're just making these videos, and there's no framework. And you have to understand that the reason why you're not in a relationship or going out there or attracting the right men is that you don't understand the psychology behind it. So there is a cause and effect. It's not that, you're not pretty enough or you're not young enough. The problem is that you don't understand the psychological components of how you're operating. And when you have someone like, yourself, Jaki, walking you through the process, then it makes it easier to say, wow, I really need to change that about myself. I really need to stand in my power. And when you're working with a coach or mentor, what you're doing is you're accelerating that process to getting what you want. So when I'm working with clients in my business, the rate of acceleration, it just speeds up because they're getting all of that wisdom, my years of expertise and holding their hand. And it's just, I cannot speak enough of it. And I just encourage the women, we don't know how long we're going to be here. Like that's how I always think. It's just like, you don't know when your time is gonna, be up. So why not live your life and find this amazing relationship? And every woman, it doesn't matter, tall, short, skinny, fat, old, whatever, deserves an amazing relationship. And if you don't feel you're worthy and deserving, that tells me that you need to work on yourself. I mean, it's a spiritual journey of working on yourself, loving yourself. And when you love who you are, you're going to attract that soulmate.
Absolutely. I love it. So exciting. And we're both in soulmate relationships. So we really speak from authority here on this topic. And I love what you said, watching the videos. And I created that beautiful summit and amazing videos. And there is so much value in that. And that's why I do it, because I want to serve women. But here's the truth. Intellectual knowledge, all those notes and thousands of notes and that you write down about all these things is great, but it's useless unless you can organize it in some kind of structure and then take action on it. You can watch videos and go to seminars and read books and audiobooks all day long, and I did for years, but the missing piece was the action. Because that's how empowerment happens. So, and intellectual knowledge is useless unless you take action. That's how you become empowered.
Yes.
You have to become self-empowered, and it's very hard to do that on your own. You can go so much further in life with support of a community of like-minded people. I mean, I know this is true in every aspect in my life. Is the more work that I do on myself, the more I grow, the more powerful I become, the more people I can help. So of course I have to have support in my life to go forward to do what I want to do. And it's so interesting when I talk to women and I ask them what they want and why they want that, and they tell me, and then we go through what's holding them back, but then they're not ready to commit. And how this fear comes up and they're like, I'm afraid to get out there. I'm like, that's not really what's stopping you. because the fear, what's stopping you is the fear of rejection, this fear that what if I do meet somebody, they're going to know me, they're going to know all the things that I did, and they're going to find out that I'm not good enough. And that fear of feeling like someone's going to find out and see you who you really are, who see you for who you really are, is very debilitating. It can really take you out, because that tells me that you haven't resolved those things that you've done. You're looking, like you said, you're looking at them like they are mistakes, but really they're building blocks, they're lessons. That's how you learn. And unless you learn how to forgive
Absolutely.
yourself and accept yourself and love yourself and become authentic, you really don't stand a chance to. You can maybe get into a relationship, but how are you going to stay there? That belief is going to come back, and it's going to sabotage you. And you're going to leave because you're going to think, well, he's going to leave me first, so I'm going to leave him. And you're just going to keep creating the same experiences in an attempt to heal those wounds that started, in the beginning, when you pick up the idea that you weren't lovable or weren't good enough or weren't worthy.
It's so true. And I just want to speak really quickly about, the fear and unconscious motive. So like, I want to put an example where women are really going to understand that. So let's just say you're overweight, and on a conscious level that you should not be eating, that third piece of pizza, but there's something that there's a reason why you're not stopping. So there's benefits to you not really looking at those triggers. And so a lot of times how this relates to taking action and getting some help is that those unconscious motives, if they're not uncovered, then you keep repeating the cycle, right? You keep eating that another piece of pizza, and then you're like, wait a minute, I'm so disgusted with myself. And so how you look at that is like, wait a minute, what are the benefits I'm getting out of not doing anything? There's always a
Right.
benefit, right? There's
Yeah.
always a
Yeah.
benefit. Well, I get to enjoy this pizza. I get instant gratification. But if you're looking
Yeah.
for a long-term solution, it's really within you. It's working on yourself, working with a coach and mentor, investing, in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, when you really value yourself, your whole life changes. And I know
Absolutely.
since I am in my soulmate relationship, my business has increased, my confidence has increased, like my creativity. So how that applies to women out there, maybe you're in a career, if you would get like more confidence in your career, if
Yeah.
getting a raise, changing jobs, I mean, there's no limit. So I
Yeah.
really encourage women to expand their minds, break through these fears, and really know that, you just have to go for it.
I love it. I love it. I love that you said, values. There's so many things that change for you when you're in a relationship, when you're in a soulmate relationship. And if you haven't been in one in a long time, I can see how it's easy to forget that, or maybe you've never been in one. So you wouldn't even know what it was like to have the support and love from your husband or your soulmate partner, and how much you can blossom and open and just relax about life. So you have to ask yourself, if you're watching this right now, what would you do if you knew for sure, without a doubt, that you would be meeting your soulmate in 1 month? What would you do right now? Just think about that. What comes to mind for me is I would relax. Like, there's so much tension about dating and having to do all this. I would be like, if I knew it was going to happen, I don't have to worry anymore. Worrying, that anxiety is such a negative energy, it's a heavy energy. So just drop that. I invite you right now to just believe that it's going to happen, because you're going to take the necessary steps to make sure it happens, not hoping and wishing it happens, but actually taking concrete steps that put you in a place where you can make it happen. And that's exactly what we're doing in my Engaged at Any Age program. It has a very high success rate, because I give you the tools and I give you the strategies and the formula so that you can be successful in love. And then you're successful in life. I mean, my life, just like you, Heather, I have flourished so much since I've been married to Michael. This is we're coming up on our third anniversary. We've been together for 5 years, and my life is just so much richer. My experiences are so much deeper. I have someone to share them with. I have somebody to witness my life. I think that's one thing that women are missing out the most. There's nobody watching you. They're just, you're sitting at home alone. No one sees you. No one is caring about you, like how you're doing, how you're feeling. And I think that women are just so lonely and so starved for affection and attention. And it's so lovely just to, like right now, I'm going to be going home and I'm going to see Michael, and he's going to ask me how my day was, and I'm going to tell him how it was, and I'm going to ask him. And we just have this wonderful exchange, and just that in itself is worth so much. It's worth doing anything to have someone to come home to.
I love that. And yeah, I agree. Having that soulmate connection, that partner that's committed to you, you balance each other out. They have your back, you have his, and it does change your life. It changes every area of your life. So if you go around the wheel of the 7 areas of life, you're actually going to increase your finances, your mental capacity of how you see yourself and what you can do. That translates into your vocation or your business, your fitness and health. I mean, there's just so many benefits of having that quote unquote perfect partner, because balanced partner. And I encourage women to value yourself, because again, when you value yourself, that perfect man will show up. And I will tell you, Jackie, when I worked on myself and I really committed myself and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a man. 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to have him, come in my space. He was already there, but it took me years to get to that place of understanding the missing ingredient. And I know you teach it,
Yeah,
is having that support and accountability, and knowing that it's all about you. And I know it sounds so simple, but yet it's complicated, because it is a formula. It's just like a recipe. If you follow the formula of chocolate chip cookies, you're going to get chocolate chip cookies. If you take out the flour, you're not going to have a chocolate chip cookie, and you've got to have that formula. When you have that right formula,
I love
you're
it.
going to surprise yourself. Yeah. And you're going to be super confident. You're like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, if
yeah.
I would have known that years ago, I would have done all the work.
Absolutely. And I love that you said it, liken it to a recipe, because, if you're missing one of those ingredients, it's not going to come out right. And here's the thing, if you would, you know, if you knew how to fix it, you would, right? You would just do it. It's a blind spot. It's things that are operating in the areas that you can't see. You sense that it's there. You have some low self-worth. You have a little lack of self-love, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And that's why you need somebody else, a guide, to guide the process, to give you perspective, right? That's what we bring, Heather. We bring perspective so that you can, we're up here on the 10,000 foot view. You're down on sea level, and I can see what you're going through. So I can pull you up to where I am. And that's the thing about working with a mentor and coach that I love, because they bring perspective when I don't have it, so that I can quickly, I mean, the growth is so exponential when you work with someone, because I've had coaches for years, is that you can fast track yourself, and there's no difference between business or finding a soulmate. It's really the same formula,
Right.
and that's what I'm teaching in my program. And I'm so passionate about helping women, because, like I said earlier, I know what it is to be alone. I sat on my couch for 8 years staring out the window, wondering if I was ever going to be with anybody. That was a very lonely, dark time in my life. But I had a realization that I knew two things: one, that I had to get off the couch if I was going to meet anybody, and two, the man I met was probably not going to be interested in a depressed, lonely woman. I had to really make some changes. I had to make some changes to how I was showing up. And I wasn't able to do that on my own, or I would have. I'm a pretty smart lady. I would have just done it, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get there. So I reached out and got the support that I needed, like I provided my program, and it changed everything. That's why I'm with Michael today. So I can't I say enough about having that leadership to pull you through to the other side, to give you that accountability and support that you need to have everything you want in life. And it's like a gift, Heather. Talk about that before we
Yes.
sign off. It's like women don't
Mhm.
value themselves enough to invest in themselves. They see it as an expense. It's like we overgive so much to everyone else, but when it comes to us, we don't give it. We don't give ourselves what we really need. And
It's so true. It's so true, because like I'll have women come to me to invest in their business, and then they'll have the objection, Heather, I don't have the money. And then I'm like, well, why is this important to you? Well, I have a family. So you're here to tell me that you don't want to take the time to invest in yourself, in a mentor that can help you exponentially fast track your business. So a year from now, you're doubling, tripling, and quadrupling your income. What's really the fear? And so we talk about the fear, and I stand in the fire with them. And what happens is that they transform, and then they start making all this money, and they're providing all this for their family. It's no different in a relationship when you're wanting to go out and find your ideal mate. It's not like, okay, I'm just going to put my profile on Match. It's working on yourself, investing in you so that he can become attracted to you. It's like a magnet. So the moment that you do that, the moment you invest in yourself, it's like you become in resonance with that soulmate. It happens that fast.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm just feeling really inspired right now to the ladies that are watching this video that I want to invite all of you to go ahead and book a 30-minute call with me, because I want to help you move through fears that are holding you back. And I know just a little bit of time with me will really give you that 10,000 foot view that we've been talking about really in this discussion, so that you have at least a next step that you can take that'll get you moving in the right direction. So I'm going to post a link underneath this video that you can click on and take you to my calendar so you can book a call. But I'm only going to leave the link up for a couple of hours because I only have so much room on my calendar. So I hope you'll push through the fear of reaching out and booking a call with me, because maybe it's even scary to talk with somebody like me or Heather, and that might feel intimidating to you. But believe me, we're on your side. I mean, we're both in soulmate relationships, and we're on your side. We want to get you to the other side. We both want to see you successful in love and in life. So thank you, Heather, for being here. It was really helpful to have your
Thank you,
perspective. You're so
Jackie.
wise.
And
Really appreciate it.
I was going to say, I just encourage all the women that are watching to book the call with Jackie or one of the members of your team.
Absolutely.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. This is the first step in giving this gift to yourself. So hope to connect with you soon. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. Lots of love, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.